I was talking to a friend of mine, let's say former friend, after what I'm about to tell you. I was talking to a friend of mine and he was so excited about his latest business concept. I'm not going to tell you the exact business, it doesn't really matter for this, but what does matter is he wanted to sell this business, it's a B2C company, he wanted to sell that via Facebook ads, which is great, that's the strategy to use. And I told him that, I'm like, cool, go for it. We talked a bit, he outlined exactly what the ads should look like. He had the positioning down, the images. I was pumped, he was pumped. We clinked our waters together. I bid him adieu. Then, a week later, I hang out with the same person and I ask him how it's going. He said the same exact thing. He had the Facebook ads lined up. He had the ideas ready to go, the images. At that point, I'm starting to get a little annoyed because there's no new insight that I can bring to the conversation. But I hear him out. The next week, it's the same story. He's still working on the ads. He hasn't run the ads. Nothing's put together. I'm frustrated at this point. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. If that story sounds like you, it's time to take action. And I used Facebook ads for that story, which is a legitimate thing that my friend was dealing with. He did eventually run the Facebook ads. It took him maybe 2 months. And he had all sorts of excuses, like he had a full-time job and yada, 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 all sorts of excuses that basically lead to me thinking that, he just doesn't prioritize it. It's fine. Everybody has the same amount of time in their days. So I wanted to talk about when to take action. Because we all have things like this that we talk about constantly and don't take action on. I know I had a huge issue with this for a very long time. I talked about writing a movie and filmmaking for about a year and a half before I made a movie. And we all get caught in these traps of not taking action. Here's how I think about it. If I'm mentioning the same thing for 3 weeks in a row, I know I have to do something about it. For instance, this whiteboard behind me has the song list, the track list for a musical that I wrote. And the reason why I wrote that is because for 3 weeks I was thinking about how much I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. I saw a Stephen Sondheim documentary on Netflix. I thought about Andrew Lloyd Webber and Phantom of the Opera and all of the musicals I used to see back when I was in New York. And I thought about it for 3 weeks and I realized I needed to write a musical. It took about a week and a half to come up with the draft of the script, and I've been putting this together ever since. I could have, and if you're doing this, maybe you will, I could have quit after I did the draft of the script, or even after I wrote one song. I could have realized, oh, this isn't for me, but at least I took action. Because the main thing you want to avoid is obsessing on an idea for months or even years, and then when you finally do take action, realizing you hate it. That's the main thing I'm trying to avoid with this as well. So when I was walking by Barney's department store at the Palazzo Hotel in Vegas, and I saw such beautiful fashion in the window, and realized I wanted to try my hand at fashion, I could have thought about it for the rest of my life and regretted it on my deathbed. Why didn't I get into fashion? That could have been my thing. And yet, what I did instead is took action. I designed a couple shirts, and then I quit for a couple weeks, and eventually I came back to it. The same thing with business. I could have thought about becoming an entrepreneur for years, but I read The 4-Hour Workweek in college, and from the week after I read that book, The 4-Hour Workweek, until I had a business that worked maybe 3 years later, I was trying business concepts constantly. I had a few down periods where I was working on other client work. When I was with Dom and Tom, I maybe spent 7-8 months just doing that. Vimbly, it was the same way. When I was cold calling for 3-4 months, I couldn't really focus on anything else. But I was learning the skills that eventually would become the business. And actually, the reason why I quit Vimbly was because I hated my job so much. Now, in retrospect, it's because I was putting off what I should actually be doing, which is entrepreneurship. And that's what I want you to do as well. If there's any idea you've been putting off, I want you to try it. There's an easy way to do it with the $100 tests that we put up on this channel. Is there a way you could spend $100 within that dream and try to make it happen? Is there a way you could spend an hour living your dream and just kind of seeing what it's like? When I got into sketching and drawing around Thanksgiving of last year, I drew between 5 and 8 new sketches per day for around 30 days. And I was posting them on Instagram every day and trying to get better with each one. And I enjoyed the process. After that was over, now I sketch, now I have an art style, and I dropped it after that. Same with stand-up comedy. I could have sat around, and I did actually for years. This is another one. I did for years think about what it would be like to perform stand-up. Then I did 100 mics, and I performed at the Comedy Store a couple times. Almost a full year of my life was doing comedy. Then I quit it. Now it's just an itch I can scratch. It's just something else. But you need to stop obsessing over ideas. If you want to be an artist, do some art. See if you enjoy that process. More importantly, try selling one of your pieces and seeing if that could be your main thing. If it's a hobby, it's a hobby, but you should practice it and not put it off. If you obsess over something and don't take action, you ruin it. You fall in love with the idea of that thing. It's very hard to like the actual thing. A lot of people are struggling with this when it comes to entrepreneurship. They see people posting their Lamborghinis or their nice clothes, their nice girlfriends or boyfriends or whoever, and they want that life, and they fall in love with that idea to the point where now when it's time for them to actually do the work that will create that life for them, they don't want to do the work because they've fallen in love with that idea. And that could have been solved by them doing the work up front. You see a dude with a Lambo. What I would do if you really want that Lambo is, one, try to buy the Lambo, figure out exactly how much it costs. Maybe you can afford it right now. I don't know. What's a Lambo cost? I've never wanted one, so I don't know. Maybe there's a payment plan. You can just figure it out and not have to become an entrepreneur. Or think about what work got that person their Lamborghini and start obsessing about that work, because that work is what gets you to the end point. It's better to take action now, see if you like something. If you like it, repeat it, rather than think about something for 2 to 3 years, or even your whole life, and not take action. Let's take a quick break and talk about our sponsor for this video, PitchGround. PitchGround is a community of like-minded tech entrepreneurs, founders, and marketers. It's a platform where entrepreneurs meet the passionate early adopters. With their Facebook group being 4.6 thousand strong, they engage daily with the members, introducing SaaS founders to educate their audience, and in the end, help these founders to sell their products. PitchGround is a completely community-driven platform with a founder-first approach and is also driven by their awesome community members. You can join them now for exclusive lifetime deals, cool growth hacks, and business tips. You can get that by going to facebook.com/groups/pitchground or the URL below. Check out PitchGround. Sign up if you want to help support the channel. Anytime that the advertisers can see that the audience of this channel is engaged, more advertisers are more likely to join. So feel free to join PitchGround, interact with some other entrepreneurs, maybe get some exclusive lifetime deals and some cool growth hack tips, and let me know how it goes. There's a link down below in the description for you to check out PitchGround. All right, back to the video. Thanks for watching the video. I'm Alex Berman. If you like this type of content, subscribe, because we do videos 3 times a week, all about business, entrepreneurship, bettering your life, etc. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more. I will talk to you later.